Welcome back. We're now 12 hours into the Port Huron to Mackinac race, and nightfall is upon us. Mark Miller and the crew of the Comfortably Numb boat find themselves in second place, behind the Absolute boat. But that doesn't worry the crew. Night sailing is their strength.
For me, that's the best. I absolutely love it.
Night sailing is my favorite kind of sailing. I've done a number of overnight races with my father, and there's nothing like a good breeze, a nice moon, and all the quiet when the only sound you've got is the sound of the water on the bow.
At night, the speed of travel generally increases, and so does the danger factor. The decks become slippery with condensation and bow spray. Sail changes have to be done in the pitch dark. Deck ropes can be a culprit during the wee hours of the night. They often like to wrap themselves around your ankle, and with any mislaid step, you're bound to go over the edge. Many boats make you clip into a harness so you won't go overboard at night.
Sailing is dangerous, whether in daytime or night. It becomes very dangerous in the night, especially if the decks get slippery from the water and you have to start doing maneuvers on the boat. There's always that chance that somebody's going to fall overboard. And as you look, we're going 8 miles an hour right now. If you pan over that water, you'll see you fall in the water, and before we can stop the boat and get back to someone, we're going to be a quarter mile, half mile away from them. That's why we spent some time before the race talking about our man overboard drill.
To a man, crew members will tell you that sailing at night is their favorite part of a long-distance race. Be that as it may, few are accomplished at the skill.
But I think every boat thinks that they can win it at night. Whether they do or not, it's kind of the crew. If the crew is strong enough and not fatigued, and they continue to have the intensity that they had during the day, because you can't see the boat, so you don't really know how you're doing. So you need to have the same intensity, but you're sailing in complete darkness, so you don't know which way you're going.
It can be exciting, because if you are finding your competition behind you and not quite sure where everyone ended up during the night, so it can be exciting, and then at the same time it can be frustrating, because you think we're really doing really well, and then you see your competition, and it's kind of, so it just depends.
Well, on Sunday morning when the lights go back on, you're a little anxious to just see, well, how did we do? We sailed it hard. We did the best we could with what we had. Okay, so did it pay off? Was it worth it? And you want to find out, that's why you get the eyes out, the binocs out, the eyes, and start looking around just to try and sort out where the other boats are at.
So Mark, that boat right there, I've been watching that. We've been gaining ground on them really, really well.
That's a lighthouse, stupid.
And then we're not doing as well as I necessarily thought.
Well, we're catching the lighthouse, there's no doubt about that. We're catching that lighthouse so fast, it's like it's standing still.
We're well over the halfway point in this Port Huron to Mackinac race, and as predicted, we came out of the nighttime with the lead. The only thing stopping us between now and Mackinac Island is our own mistakes and maybe Mother Nature.
Great, 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 great!
We had a couple mistakes throughout the course of the race that cost us 5 minutes here or there, but they weren't make or break on a 200+ mile race.
Sailing mistakes are not as critical, like I said, in a long distance race. However, you get to the finish and you may find out that you lost by a minute. There's that possibility that you get to the finish and you realize that you missed your first place by 30 seconds, and there you go, you had one mistake that cost you 30 seconds.
There's races up here that the difference between first and second place or second and third is 3 minutes. My daughter was on a boat and she lost third place by 9 minutes. Well, in a 40-hour race, 9 minutes isn't a lot of time, and all those things can easily add up to 9 minutes.
you have to be intimately familiar with a boat. And I've raced on this boat a lot, but not enough to know everything that can happen with a halyard or a sheet in a given wind condition. And, you know, when you combine that with it being dark and people being a little tired or having just come up off of their nap, you know, little things are going to happen, and you just have to have the people who are going to correct them quickly.
Coming up next, you better pull yourself off the floor because the finish line is nearly in sight. It's coming up next on your next Wild Weekend. Stick with us.